Hello, Andrea. So today is a little bit different. We're not talking about a movie. We're not doing a review. Every Batman has his Robin, Sherlock Holmes has his Watson, and today we are going to be talking about our favorite sidekicks or supporting characters in Hallmark movies. Are you ready to go?
I am, and I want to know how long you thought of that intro for. That was stellar. I loved it.
This podcast was created by fans for fans and is not affiliated with or sponsored by Hallmark or the Hallmark channel.
So, what's funny is we are recording in the morning, and Andrea sent me a text saying, I'm ready to go. And I said, sorry, I have to finish my Lucky Charms, to which we got on. And Andrea, as soon as we started, got on camera, what were you eating?
A Pop Tart, but like the healthy ones from Whole
Yeah,
Foods.
yeah, yeah. The healthy Pop Tarts. And then what's funny is I lit my candle. I have this little candle from Bath and Body Works called, it's like, I think it's a summer in Paris. So it's got this nice little, whatever, wonderful Parisian smell, which I don't know what a Parisian smell is. I've got my tea already. And then right before we recorded, what did you have to do?
I had to get my Palo Santo out because my cat, I have to share my office space with my cat. And so the cat litter boxes are right next to here. So I needed to relieve that odor and enjoy my coffee.
To set the scene, to set the mood, to get ready to go. That's it. So,
Yes.
so before we roll into our rankings, we do have a little bit of news to discuss. March 6th, something big's happening. What's happening?
Well, I mean, it already has happened by the time this airs,
Oh,
but
good point.
yeah, the Hallmark channel is officially switching over just to the Hallmark Mysteries channel. So I am going to be very curious to see what's in store. What does this mean? How is it going to be different than it currently is? As we've noticed, there is no new regular movies on Hallmark channel. They're airing old ones from the Hallmark Movies and Mysteries channel. So I'm curious to see if they're going to bring some of those movies out kind of that vault and put them on Hallmark. And it's just, I mean, are we literally just mysteries? And is it going to be old mystery series? Are we going to get any new old mystery series? Are we going to get any TV shows, which I've heard some rumblings about, which I would love if they would try a mystery TV show, like a weekly thing, kind of like we get with The Way Home. So that's kind of my hope. What are you hoping, Eric?
You know, what would be great is if maybe we could talk to somebody at Hallmark and ask all these questions. Maybe like, I don't know, Lisa Hamilton Daly, which breaking news for everybody listening. Somehow, some way, we're able to secure an interview with her. So next week on our podcast, we will be asking all these questions because, yes, Andrea, those are all my questions too. Are we going to get some unscripted? We saw that Dylan Neal did that post about the gourmet detective of sort of a weekly show where he goes around Europe and hits restaurants. What the heck is a 24-hour mystery channel going to be? We do know that it's going to be whatever Murder She Wrote and those shows in the middle of the night, but for the waking hours, what are we going to be getting? I don't know. We
I'm
will know by
excited.
the time this airs. We'll get a little inkling, but what's the big picture? And so, yes, we were able to secure an interview with Lisa Hamilton Daly, and we are going to be asking all these questions. So, sleuther friends, we will be getting some answers for you. We probably won't have all the answers, and I'm sure that they will be adjusting, at some point too, but we'll at least know what's in store. So that's beyond crazy exciting for us.
I'm really excited to see that. And my only request is just like keeping some of the old favorites. I know some people don't like them, but there's plenty of us who really do enjoy. They're kind of just our old cozy shows you can curl up with a blanket to and just kind of put on. Like before we hopped on, there was a monk show that I watched and it's one with the pies. and they're at the carnival, and I love that episode. And so I just love kind of just popping in, and then I'm able to pop out. I still know what happens. And it's just one I recorded because I want to catch the ending, even though I already know what happens.
Well, the funny thing is, what, 2 weeks ago, I guess, maybe we were talking about some of the old mysteries and the originals, the McBrides, Murder 101s, Jane Doe, Mystery Woman, which we don't really ever see on Hallmark
Wow.
Channel. You said sometimes it's on Hallmark Drama.
Yep.
Will those be coming over? Because they've got to fill it, right? We're not going to be getting, you know, the Hallmark movies, those drama type movies that, you know, typically air there. So I don't know. I'm hoping with you. So
I'm also wondering if they're going to continue the drama movies, because I do love a drama movie, not every month, but every other month, throw one of those on. Are they going to do that on the regular Hallmark Channel? Like, that is something that I think people do enjoy, because the ones that they aired, some of them I enjoyed, some of them weren't my favorites, but I think if they sprinkled them in enough throughout the year, again, every other month seems like a good cycle. I think that would satisfy the audience as well.
yeah, I think the other good thing about this interview is going to be we all have our, you know, things that we think as fans, right? At the end
Yes.
of the day, Hallmark is a business. And so this is
No.
going to be a chance for us to ask the questions to help us just put things in perspective. You know,
Mhm.
hey, in our world, Hallmark can do anything. There's no, you know, they're not tied to bottom lines and
Right,
balance
right.
sheets and those things, right? We'd have a mystery every night, but
Right.
there's the reality. So I think this is going to be a great one. You know, everything I've ever read with her, she's fascinating. She seems to be pretty candid too. So I think it's going to be interesting. But we
Excited.
also have some other exciting news, which we shared on our Instagram. We are going to be talking to Nikki Deloche and Megan McNulty about obviously their writing and bringing true justice to the little screen for us. But also, obviously, we have Nikki on there, so we're going to be asking a little bit more questions beyond
Serious
that. So,
haters.
but next week is just a powerful, jam-packed, exciting week for us. So we're going to have a episode on Tuesday and another one on Thursday.
And then we'll have the new mystery coming out. So
Right.
that's great. And
Get our
it seems like
flesh.
that's the only one we're getting this March, it looks like, for the mysteries. And I don't know about April. Have you seen anything for April? New mysteries?
Nope. But I
I
am
haven't either.
sure that Lisa will break
Tease.
all the news, reveal it on our show. So this is the only
Tease what's
place
to
you're
come.
ever going to have to go to get all the news. She will tell us the entire lineup of the year. She will tell us brand new, like Christopher Palaha is going to be in a brand new mystery starting in May 1. And who else do we want to see? Let's just say
I
Taylor
mean, I
Cole
want
will be back. You
Dylan
know,
Neal to come back. I mean,
oh, yeah.
both of us want Gourmet Detective to come back.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, they've never said no, so that's where I'm like, hey, the door's open.
Yes. We just got to get Brooke away from Masterminds, who I don't know if anyone watches it. She is such a good game show host. She
Not even heard of it.
100% should have got Wheel of Fortune. Ryan Seacross, I am so bitter about that. Not that I watch Wheel of Fortune, but okay. All right.
Oh,
Are we
let's talk
ready to
about
get into it?
sidekicks. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
We have our
Well,
top five. You go
I
ahead and start.
you told me six, and so I prepared with six. So
I can
I'm
go
gonna
with six.
combine. Okay. Okay, let's do six then.
Okay.
My six is Sally from Aurora Teagarden, and probably the original Aurora is not the new one with that Sally. I really enjoy her. She's fun, she's clever, she's smart, she's on the newspaper, and she just kind of is a great best friend to Aurora. So for me, she lands there as kind of a standout character when I'm thinking about all of the mysteries. I definitely think of Sally.
You know what else she can do? She can act. So there you go. That's a
She can
great
act.
improvement
Can
for
act.
the show.
Who's your number six?
My number six. So my number six and number five. That's why I said originally I'm like I was going to combine them into one because they sort of both fall in that same category. But I'm going to go with Baroness Janie from Mystery Island.
No.
She was, I thought, absolutely hilarious. Every time she was on the screen, she stole the show. She was just such a fun character.
Just kidding.
So yes, Baroness Janie, like I know, like you said, it's not your favorite mystery, but you at least have to say she was hilarious of a
I can't even
character.
remember her.
Oh, oh,
That movie is just like a out on its own island for me. It really is on an island. I cannot remember much about it. I've watched it twice. I've pushed it aside and I don't need to go back.
which is why I did that little Instagram post of me talking on and on and on about it while you just look off into the
Yep.
Netherlands of where am I at? Where am I at?
It's
Well, it's
gonna
kind of funny
meditate.
because you started with probably my least favorite mystery, and then I obviously started with your least favorite. All right, I'm going to roll into my number 5,
Yeah.
which, and by the way, so I had her as 6 because it
Okay.
was a one-off. We may never see her again, whatever. So I can't put her in the category of, like, obviously Lexi Dong being in, 18 of them or 17 of them, how many ever there were.
I
There.
didn't follow those rules. We'll just say that.
So it needs to say, so I just put as the one off there. So, but my number 5, which is why I said I could have combine them, is we just got introduced to him, Jay Bax, and he was Baxtastic. Just cracked me up every time he was on the screen. I was laughing. I thought, to go ahead and be able to drop puns in with like that could so easily go awry, but he nailed it, and he just made that character so likable that, as I told you, remember when we did the review, I thought as it was going on, about halfway through, I was convinced he was the killer, and I was honestly like bummed out because I'm like, oh damn, that means we're not going to get to see him again, and because there's no way they cannot make more of these. It was just too good, right? So I was like seriously bummed that we weren't going to get more backs, in these future movies. I was just so depressed. So when it turned out he wasn't the killer, I was ecstatic. I want to see him again, drinking matcha martinis. Just fantastic character. Fantastic character. Once, we need more. All right. Who do you have
My
at
number
5?
5 is Dani from Garage Sale Mysteries.
Of course it is.
I know. I love her. That's where I'm like, I could combine Aurora or Sally and Dani together because kind of the same premise. There's been a ton of these movies. They really got to develop Dani. We got to see her character. Of the series, like I really enjoyed Garage Sale, and I feel like they could have maybe replaced Lori. Obviously, there's probably reasons why they didn't, or even just kind of held the bones of this cast together. But I adored her. I think she could have easily been the lead in a spinoff and taken, just maybe Lori's family moved away and then she took it and a new partner comes in and they could have solved crimes together. But yeah, that's probably my number 5 for multiple reasons.
That's what I was going to ask you is, because like I said, I've seen, I don't know how many of those there are. I think there's like 16, 17 as well. I've seen probably 4. So you've seen, all of them. Do you think she has enough where she could take over as a lead?
I think so. I mean, I think that they'd probably have to start or maybe started. I think they did towards the end. Sometimes they made her character a little more like maybe not as smart to solve these. They made her a little bit more like maiden in distress type of feel. And I think they kind of towed that edge, but they started to walk her back into a more reliable character versus kind of damsel in distress, which is, I think they probably started her that way. But I do think they kind of righted that as the series progressed. So that's where I'm like, if they kept that character arch and kept going with her, and she found that husband, which I think the guy that she was dating at the end could have been a good, even those two together could have been a good sidekick. I think there was some potential there. And I know also Lori's daughter was one that they talked about having her come on and be the lead, which I could have seen that too.
The character daughter, not her real
Correct.
daughter.
Right.
Not
Right. Yeah.
not
No.
her daughter off at
No.
USC.
No, not that one.
Though there would be many a hearts upset because that means Steve Basic would be gone,
Well,
probably.
he could maybe still somehow maybe come back and visit. I don't know.
Like,
You need to have Steve Basic.
That's
Somehow you
like
got
I
to
said,
figure that out.
that would be the only problem I see is that there. But I did like, I did once again, same thing with the I really did like her character, so I'll not fight you on that. And I didn't dislike Garage Sale Mysteries as a whole. Like I said, I just had my thing of overall wasn't my favorite, but I didn't hate it either. Wasn't a Aurora Teagarden original. So
What about your number 4?
okay, so my number 4, I had to go, and I was torn because I could have gone two directions, but I went with Delores from Murder She Baked
I did too.
slash
That is my number 4. So
Hannah Swensen, because
right there with
Barbara
you.
Niven,
Yeah.
like I could have gone, back and done crossword puzzle mysteries too. Barbara Niven is just a gift. She's fantastic. She's beautiful. She can act. She is hilarious as you know, that she's that sidekick, right? Exactly what you want in the sidekick of you got Hannah trying to keep it together and be somewhat like as much as a nosy body can be. Let's try to, do this the right way. And then you have Delores just coming in as a wrecking ball of havoc in the best of best ways. So there's no way we could do a list and not recognize Barbara Niven. She's just divine.
Agreed. I mean, I'm right there with you. I'll probably just slide right into my number 3 because Dolores again was my number 4 and agree with everything you said. And I love her. Number 3, this is probably one I don't think you're gonna have. It is Philby from Mystery Woman. So that is a character. If anyone has watched Mystery Woman, he is, I don't even remember what his role is, but he's in the bookshop a lot, and he's kind of the right-hand man. She also has a best friend, and I can't remember her character's name, the Mystery Woman's best friend who works for the police. She also
Oh yeah,
could
yeah.
be, I think Callie is that
Yeah,
character's
Kelly.
name.
I'm pretty sure you're right, Kelly.
And so she could be also on my list. Philby and her together are great. I think they're great sidekicks. I mean, I really feel like they both are strong. They support, those three together are really believable in solving crimes. They are just kind of great acting and banter with each other as well. I think that they all just complement each other because it is a more serious, I guess, overall series. There's not as much fun. It's not a fun laugh. It is a more serious undertone. And none of those characters are necessarily silly in nature either. They're all pretty even keel and pretty, I mean, I can't think of any character that's kind of even a little goofy. Can you? Have you seen those series?
Yeah. And you know what? It's funny because I thought about going that direction myself. And my problem of it is it's just so hard to watch those movies because their availability,
Oh
which gets
yeah,
back to the beginning of
yeah,
this conversation.
yeah.
It it is a amazing series. It is so, so good. And so I thought about that, and I agree with you 100%. 100%. And the reason why I left it off my list was I just haven't seen him in so long that I was like, I can't remember everything. I just know I liked him. And like you said, Callie, who I'm pretty sure it is Callie, as her DA friend, like the
Yep.
three, they just work together fantastically. I agree with you 100%. 100%.
So if you like the more serious solving
Right.
crimes, this would be the series to definitely check out because those three together again are your more serious, buttoned up.
Yeah.
They have a reason for what they're doing. They're not necessarily busybody. They do have those connections. So that was mine. What was yours?
So mine goes into, I guess, a little, I guess I'm keeping that little wackiness going and the wackiness of the mom. I got Wendy Malick as Joanna on Darrow and Darrow.
I thought about that one.
And she is just awesome in that. First of all, the woman's just gorgeous. So yes, I'll admit I got a little like crush thing on her because she's just gorgeous, and I love her and everything she's ever in. She is just a dynamo, and she is just awesome because you've got Claire, Darrow, who's trying to hold it together and sort of the straight lace and trying to do all her things, and the mom, who, you think like she's also the high powered lawyer, but she goes like the different route, but she still has the good heart. And she really is that balance that Claire needs. And I just think the way that they play off each other, it has a great daughter-mom dynamic to it. She also does a great job with which I know that the daughter grows up in, is in future Hallmark things, but the daughter, and I would say, is the weakest link of the Darrow with me, which is kind of my normal thing for kids in a lot of shows. But she's even like a great grandmother. Like the time she's like, "Oh, hey, you got to do your, you want to make friends? Here, let me talk to my friend, and I'll get you all these like top secret science surplus things that end up getting her daughter suspended from school because how does a high school kid end up with all these things?" But just that character in general, just absolutely delightful. And like I say, Wendy Malick is just such a good actor that she's just, no matter what she's in, I can't even think of anything ever that I have not liked her in. So there you go.
I love it. Well, I'm going to break your rules. My number 2 is Bax
You
from
can
Crime
have
Time Free Fall.
it's your own role.
I loved Bax. I agree with everything that you said. There's not necessarily a ton I can add because I adored him. I think he would be a wonderful sidekick, just bringing that lightheartedness and fun to the screen. I think he did a great job of that. So everything I'm looking for. I mean, again, it's very opposite of what I just said with Philby. So I enjoy both. I mean, really across the board, all of my lists. There are some who are more serious, some who are more silly, and I think there is a time and place for them depending on the movie and if they kind of balance the characters. Like for Bax, I think he balances out our lead, Hadley. I think those two together make sense. A more serious person, I don't think she needed because Luke McFarlane's character was more serious. So we had that piece to ground us.
But he had a
So
little bit of that like quiet comedic thing. Like remember when he did you did the crime, I got the time. Like
yes,
he dropped
yes.
that. So he does have a little bit of it, but yes, you are 100% right.
So I think they balanced there, and that's why he made my number 2 list.
You
Who
know,
was your number 2?
I hope that they sort of bring him in really as that secondary, sidekick in future, where
Yeah,
he is involved with her, like the other sidekicks we're talking about, who, you know, starts going off and doing the shenanigans more than just sipping the matcha martinis and making a murder board, where he is off getting involved
that
because
would
he
be
is,
fun.
like I said, I agree with you. And I have no qualms with you saying he's only been in one, but his performance was so good, he deserves that role. Won't argue with there. Like I say, my personal criteria is I gave a little more weight to people who have been in multiple ones, such as another series cut short, which I wanted to see more of, which is Flower Shop Mysteries and Nikki. Kate Drummond, she was great. I think as you're talking about how you have that balance between some of the funny and then some of the more serious, I think I seem to like the quirky sidekick because going just down my list, they're all sort of
Quirky.
the that yeah, they're the fun sidekick. And Nikki was, no different. And I just loved her character in there. She was, the one who kept egging on Abby to go do things. Not like Abby needed too much egging on. Um, but I just thought she was absolutely fantastic. And then last year, when it was the holidays, because we hadn't seen her in a little bit, when why am I forgetting the name of the one with Andrew Walker when the plane gets stuck on was it Christmas Island? I
I
think
think
I
it
think
was.
was whatever. I love seeing her in that to get to see her again. I just I actually think she could lead a mystery. I thought her, not maybe necessarily as Nikki, but just as an actress, I thought she just had a great just presence whenever she was on camera. So love Nikki. Just cute, just quick question. Where does Flower Shop Mysteries lie for
Hmm.
you? Because it's
Well,
one of my like
you love it.
I love it. Yeah, I love it.
I you so I loved it when it originally aired, and I did watch it when it originally aired. I recently went back and watched them. Not so much loving it. I don't know if it just didn't age well for me. It was a little dull. It was a little slow. Again, I love the leads. I love the actors, but as a series as a whole, not my favorite anymore. And I'm pretty sure I had it ranked a lot higher. When I years ago, I did a kind of a mystery ranking of my movies. But now, having some time away, going back and watching, I'm also curious to see what I would think of Emma Fielding again, because I remember not necessarily enjoying it when it originally aired. It was okay for me, but it wasn't one that I loved, but I would love to give it another shot and see what I thought. So this is one that went the other direction for me. It didn't improve with time, it got worse.
Interesting. Well, challenge accepted. In the next couple weeks, we can do a little Emma Fielding. I did go back and I just watched one of them recently again, just
Emma Fielding,
for fun.
did you
And
enjoy?
I'll
Or we
say
have to wait and
my
see.
opinion that I had originally remains
It did.
unchanged.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Oh,
okay, it's
well, our
time for
number
the
one.
top. The top. Mine's not going to be a surprise for anyone who's listened to this podcast, but who is yours?
Mine will be a surprise, and mine does not follow your rule once more. It is a one-off and done movie. I loved Eamon from the Haunted Harmony mystery. The ghost. I loved
But we
him.
don't know. Oh, I guess he is a sidekick.
I mean, yeah, because he was there helping.
Yeah.
Now,
But
that's
was
the
he the
tricky
sidekick
part.
or was he the lead? I don't,
No, he was a sidekick. It's like, you have the Maori
because
sister, and then you have the two guys that she's trying to, is there a love triangle? I would say those would be considered the leads, and he would be a sidekick,
see, I would have put
a
it the other.
very
I would have put it the other
prominent
way.
sidekick. Now,
But
will he be in other movies if they make more? I really hope they make more. And I really think for them to continue this series, they need to have him in there, or at least a ghost every time, because I feel like that would be a sidekick. And it might be not the same sidekick, but a reoccurring sidekick would be great. Having, Eamon come back, I think would be totally acceptable. And him having a ghost friend that he's trying to help. And he, again, could be that sidekick helping her, and he's the only one who could talk to her, but he can talk to his ghost friend, and we see that interaction as well. I'm just creating this off the fly,
I
and I
know.
kind of like it. I'm like, I really want to see this. So I'm hoping they do something like that. Like, if you're listening, Hallmark writers, that would be super fun. And keeping us interested, because I know there's a lot of us who really enjoyed the Haunted Harmonies. I know you weren't the biggest fan of it, but there's a lot of us who really enjoyed it, and I see potential there if they pull the right strings.
When you say I'm not the biggest fan, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I just liked the other ones more. So was not one that I was like, eh.
Yeah.
But you know what's fascinating? You just had me think that I never realized that Haunted Harmony may be the only mystery we've ever seen that doesn't have essentially like two leads, because you're right. In essence, while he was kind of the lead in there, he was a sidekick though, right? He was just a prominent sidekick, but he was not by any means a lead. So it was her. So that's actually a very interesting notion of, right, that you could have in future ones, the next ghost come up. Reminds me, there's a show that's on TV right now. It's like Dead to Me, I think, or something like that, where she's an obituary writer. It's a sitcom, and different ghosts come up, and whoever she's writing the obituary around, and they interfere with her life. But it could be something like that. But
Yeah.
no, that's fascinating. And I won't argue with you, because I personally thought he was the best thing in the movie. I thought he was fantastic. And if you recall, the things I had against it were just some of the mystery things, which the leaps of faith were all of a sudden, whoa, look, there's a key in the ground. Oh my gosh, that key must be from, I'm just making things up, but whatever. We're moving on. We're moving on.
It was a segue to The Way Home. That's what you're
My-
thinking of, the key in the ground.
Oh, I have a good lead into this for The Way Home. Made it enjoyable. The number one for me, by no means is a surprise, is Marla from Curious Caterer. love her in every which way. I love her character on the show. I think she's hilarious. She's fun. She just is a perfect complement to Goldie. I think whenever I look at her, I think there's like that. I don't know if it's a meme or a real thing that goes around. It's like oh, when you're in jail, who do you want your best friend to be? The one bailing you out or the one sitting next to you? And I always view her as like the one sitting next to you because
That's
she
funny.
is just always going to be in the middle of it. So love her
That's awesome.
character. I love JC. We've talked to her twice. She is just as great of an actual person as her character. Love everything about her. So whenever she's on screen, I'm smiling, I'm laughing, I'm enjoying it. And it all goes back from the very first introduction we ever had with her character. And then I think the thing that has been great about the show was I think they sensed it and they developed her character very well, which gets back to one of our big things, why you need multiple mysteries, because it allows us to get introduced to these characters, get to know them better, get to develop them better. And I'll go back to your Bax, like getting to know Bax and what goes on in his life outside of
His
Hadley's living
Bax
room.
story.
Exactly. Getting Bax's backstory will be fantastic. And but like I said, Marla, all day, every day. She's this fantastic lover. In fact,
Oh, well, now we're gonna go something you probably don't love. We're gonna hop in the pond. It's our
we're
the
taking a dip.
way home corner. And I want to know, we are talking about episode 6. Let
So
me
we're in the
pull up.
second half of the season now. We're officially, because there's 10, I think, right?
Thank goodness.
So we are in the final stretch.
So episode 6 was How to Save a Life. Kat works on a plan. Del and Alice struggle with new information when new information comes to light. That is super vague, and that is what we had for the description. Eric, what did you like about this episode?
I liked that I had to get an MRI yesterday
Oh my
afternoon,
gosh. Oh gosh.
and I'm completely claustrophobic, so I had a pop of Xanax. And so I watched the episode
Oh my
on a
gosh.
Xanax, and it was my most enjoyable episode I've seen all year. So I think I've discovered the secret to enjoying season 2.
What did you enjoy about it? Like what got you? What captured you?
Well, I'll admit I am a little bit fuzzy. I think like things it but I would say things started happening like, okay, hey, we're moving along, but at the same time, nothing really happened, right? So we started, and in the whole thing, they go in the time when they go in the pond, there's some sort of weird time thing. So I think we went in the pond and we had a couple days, but it could have all been done in a minute or two. So there's not that much that's happening. I think though we find out that that Cat seems to be able to go back to 1812 and just be able to storm through without being killed, whereas I think any other person on the planet would have just been shot by this point, because you can't really just go bullying your way through. It's not 2024 when you're worrying about, police rights or things like that. So, and then her like, oh, you mean a key like this? I don't know. And then running around the little thing, like how many darn cells does this guy's house have in there? Like I could see having like 3 in your basement, but I don't know. So I don't know. Like I say, but I was on my Xanax, so everything was just flowing along and happy, and I was stress free.
Maybe that was like when he kind of saw the double vision of the witches. That was like your
Oh,
whole viewing of the episode.
that was actually kind of cool. Where I think it explains the White Witch, right? Because that's where Jacob's thing when they're playing earlier in modern day. So
Yeah, yeah, I can chat about that. So, what we liked, myself, I really didn't like this episode. I did not enjoy it. I found it to be very anticlimactic, very thrown together. I feel like it was just tidied up in a way, like this is kind of, I guess, going right into what I didn't like, because I really don't have a ton. I liked that Kat didn't sacrifice her friends. Like that was what I wrote down when she was like, no, I don't want, you guys to potentially get killed. I will go out there and talk to the guy. I don't remember his name. The bad guy. That was nice, but so many things what I didn't like was the White Witch thing. I feel like that was just conveniently wrapped up, and it just felt like they felt they should tie it in there somehow, and it didn't feel well thought out. It felt like, hey, this is a good place to throw it in. Maybe I'm wrong, but it didn't feel I guess genuine to it. It felt very easy. Like, let's throw this in. I enjoyed that scene, like the White Witches and them, making him confused. Um, but as far as other things that I didn't like, Kat is just mean to all of the men in her life. How she just comes in with Thomas Coyle. I'm like, whoa, like this is just how you treat Elliot and just every man in her life. And I feel like she probably was like that with Brady, her now ex-husband. I'm like, you're
And I
just
know how
really,
you like Brady, so
I know, right? I'm like, you're just really intense and just firing and just no like forgiveness, no softness. It's just heart, 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 my way, my way, my way. I don't care what you think. I don't care about your opinions. We're going to do it this way. Like, even when he had given the plan, she's like, no, it's going to be 3 people. I'm going to get involved. And so all of that just seems very, again, cat centric. And it's just making her even more unlikable as you're having yet another character she is not kind to. And so for me, I'm like, just daddy issues all over, which would also make sense based on her
she killed him.
relationship. Right. I'm like, relationship there of just intense, is just one word to describe her. And then Alice finding that newspaper, and now us pulled into another mystery of like what happened at this house, and what, was it Elliot, was it her mom, what happened there, do we care, is it going to be anything that they actually do anything with? And then coming back to the first season, like Byron, the newspaper guy, why was he even in the show at this point? Are they going to pull him in at any point, or is he just this random guy that came in for the newspaper to fill a character role for half the season and then it was out? I like Sam much better than I liked Byron. I feel like him and Del actually have a nice relationship, and I'm hoping that, like, I was reading some posts, people thinking that he could be a bad guy. I don't get those vibes, but I'm hoping I'm not wrong, because I really do like those two together. And like that would be a relationship that I would like to see happen. And, hopefully he's genuine. But again, is he going to be like Byron and he disappears after the end of the season? And what purpose did he serve besides giving someone for Del to share scenes with? That's kind of what it feels like at times.
I forgot what I did. One of the thing I did like is the very end when she's running away and she's like, I've got this, and gets them chasing and then does her thing diving to the pond, like for the escape. That I thought was kind of cool. Like, I know how to get away from these people chasing me, and it's not hiding behind a tree or going in a cave. It is literally jumping in a pond and going 200 or 100 and no, whatever. Yeah. 220 years in the future kind of thing, right? So,
Was that your standout scene or performance
so I
then?
guess, yeah, I thought
Yeah.
that was kind of a cool thing of like, I can get out of this, and kind of a cool little superhero power, I guess, to have, of knowing you can just at any moment just, now you have to get to the pond. And I think she should have been serpentining a little bit more, but regardless, I thought that was kind of exciting. Now I have a theory, and one of them is, yeah, that wait, what's the guy's Sam? Is that his name?
Sam. Yep.
That he is a time traveler and sort of coming here and maybe up to some no good. Or the bigger one is Elliot secretly has been traveling back, and Elliot has this big dark secret that he has gone back and done shenanigans in the past, and that's why he's all trying to get them to quit going in the pond, because at some point they're going to discover they'll be back there and they're about to get, something, happening, and look over and see Elliot and be like, dun, dun, dun. Now, maybe that's just wishful thinking to make this episode or the season exciting. Maybe, I don't know. But that's what I think. One of the two of them dip in the pond.
Well, my standout scene is also with Sam and Dell. And I thought that the scene, with the horse and then can you stay for
course, the horse.
wine? Well, I mean, not necessarily out at the horse, but they were back in the house. I thought that was, and she got the phone call and he came in. I thought it was very steamy. I felt the chemistry and just that companionship between the two. I thought they both did a really good job of like just conveying that. So for me, that was kind of my standout scene. Probably my favorite one of the episode for sure, that even after I watched it and then I think it went to a commercial, I'm like, okay, I feel that chemistry. The first probably really sparks flying at between any two characters that I really was like, that one
Even
jumped.
back when you first had Elliot and Kat, before you realized it was just going to turn into this high school drama
Yeah, I
thing,
never felt sparks
at
like
the
that.
beginning.
No.
Okay.
I don't feel any of that. No. No. Very friend vibe from the beginning with Kat to Elliot.
Or I'll throw in Coyle's his name, right?
Thomas Coyle. Now
he may be a he may be a time traveler.
Agree.
As well. So one of the three of those
Yeah.
men, I think, are going to be a time traveler.
Yeah, I agree he seems like he knows stuff. But I like his character currently. So we'll see. Do you have anything that you're hoping is coming or not?
I think I just said that we're going to get a big reveal of an additional time traveler that just completely wrecks all the things that have been
sets up for a season 3. That's like way at the end. Okay.
Maybe. But since we've had so much not happening, that it's going to come in with a big, because here's the thing that's so disappointing. Like, I watched season 1 kicking and screaming. I said, you know what? Okay, it wasn't necessarily I loved it, but after watching it through, I'm like, okay, it was entertaining. And then you get into season 2, and that first episode ending with Kat getting shot, right? Like, I am like, oh, they are coming. This season is going to be, explosive. This is going to be fun. This is going to be just action packed. And then nothing's happened really since.
Lots of just random mysteries thrown in, like the key, like Jacob taking those Polaroids and, finding the key in the dirt. And for me, I just felt like that. Where were the Polaroids? I guess last year we didn't really see any Polaroids, and now all of a sudden they're playing a part. So it just doesn't feel cohesive. It feels a little kind of thrown together. They're trying to figure out what threads to pull, but I think they're pulling too much. We got too much going on that we can't care about all these mysteries because you've given us about 20 at this point, and we're going to forget some. And again, just like the Byron character, if that's just a throwaway, I feel like some of these are kind of like the mysteries, the red herrings. Like, are we just getting a whole bunch of red herrings that we're not going to follow through with? And then it's hard as an audience to keep staying invested each week. But
I don't know. I think you may be,
that.
and this is maybe I'm being too cynical, but I think you may be being too generous in saying they're red herrings as opposed to just random things. Like, a red herring is meant to make you think something, right? It is deliberately pushing you one way, a wrong way. Whereas to me, like you said, there's so many of them. It just feels like a whole bunch of random things happening that nothing, like, you have to develop that red herring to think, oh yeah, but you don't know. Like, because as soon as you start thinking it, like, oh, nope, got to go another direction. Oh, nope, got to go another direction. Oh, nope. Like, so I don't know.
Well, I'll share the results of my poll because they are also, so this is the first week it's starting to take a turn. So before, the other weeks, people were they were curious. This week is the first time I'm seeing poll results starting to trickle in on the opposite end, which is not good. Not good for the way home. So, and again, this has only been up for 12 hours, but I asked what did people think? 21% I'm so in. That was awesome about the episode we just watched. 12%. I'm so out. They've jumped the shark. Then the last two results are both tied with 33% apiece. I think they are making it up on the fly. And this season is going nowhere fast. So the majority of people are going, I mean, on the out bus of this show. And even people who actually were loving it, they said this is the episode that all of a sudden they're like, I don't think they actually know what they're doing at this point. It just seems thrown together. And so that's why that White Witch, I'm like, I feel like that was convenience. Like, yes, great scene, but it doesn't really, I feel like there should have been a bigger reveal. Like that was it. Like that was it.
All right, we're done bagging on it. I'll just leave with one last thing, was that the when Kat's like, oh, here, give me one of your addresses, so people think we're the same person, I guess.
Yep.
Or was that just me and my drug inducedness?
Nope.
I'm
she
like,
had that dress on when she
look
went
nothing
down
alike. So I think it would require more than having, matching Lululemon clothes.
Well, he had
like,
the eye thing, so he was kind of seeing things because of the drugs that she put into the drink. So
I guess I just thought it was, you don't look alike. So I don't think that, even, you're right, they were all quote unquote drugged.
We're ready for more pot.
But here's the thing. We only have 4 more to go.
We do.
And like I say,
so we'll see it out.
Elliot, one of those guys, is going to be coming out of the pond. That's my prediction. Or you're going to see them in another time. One of those 3, you're going to see in another time.
I think they're just making it up on the fly, so I'm not sure.
Maybe they're listening to the podcast right now, like, oh crap, that's a good idea. Quick.
Add that.
Elliot, put your bathing suit on.
I mean, hey, we could always do, after this ends, When Calls the Heart, and review each of those.
I did make it through the first episode.
I made it through the last season. I dropped off and then picked it up. I think last season was the first one I watched, just out of the blue. I could easily pop in. I understood what was going on.
I've never seen the Aaron Krakow, any of her thing. Like, I saw the Lori.
So you could just pop in. So that's what I did. And right now I would prefer that to this, which is,
I would say okay, but now that we have a 24-hour mystery channel, we're not going to have time.
Who knows what's coming our way. So.
And with that, I'll leave with, we also do have one more secret interview coming up that I will not tease. I'll tease saying we have another secret interview with one of the cast of maybe one of the most beloved mysteries out there. So
I don't even know who it is.
I know, I forgot to tell you.
Surprise for us all.
So on that note,
thanks, Eric.
I was feeling so good when we were talking about the sidekicks, and then now you just drained it all out of me having to talk about the way home.
I know. We're almost there, though. Almost there.
All right. Andrea,
Bye.
it was fun as usual.
Bye.
Bye.